letter. B.K. Hariprasad of the Congress has spoken. Let's listen in.
Joining us right now, the leader of opposition in the Karnataka Legislative Council, Mr. B.K. Hariprasad. Sir, Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad has resigned. A stinging criticism, or the letter talks about Rahul Gandhi, the leadership, the complete decimation of a consultative process. How would you respond, sir? You worked with him very closely.
No, we were together in Youth Congress. He was a couple of years senior to me. It's very unfortunate. A man like Ghulam Nabi should not have made such a statements. Of all the people who had enjoyed all the powers in the party and the government, he was almost a guest of the government for almost 40 years. He was enjoying the perks and privileges because of the Congress party. At this critical moment, when not only the Congress party, when entire country is in a crossroads, nobody expected a man like Ghulam Nabi ji to speak like this. And we know him. Doesn't mean that we don't know Ghulam Nabi. He was a Youth Congress president at the All India level in the Kashmir. And this is not expected from a man like Ghulam Nabi. It's very unfortunate.
Do you agree with some of the points that he's made? He's saying there are PAs and guards of Mr. Gandhi who take decision.
No,
and seniors have been sidelined. G23 suggestions haven't been taken in the right light.
Calling.
So that was the first official reaction from a sitting member from the Congress. But what's happening at the AICC headquarters? Pallavi Ghosh, any insight? This has caused a political earthquake?
Well, obviously, Arunima, and this is something which was expected to be coming. I mean, you know, there are people from the Congress party who have left. When a Jitin Prasad left, when a Jyotiraditya Scindia left, but you know, they were often dismissed off as people who got a lot very early on, and how they were given important positions in the Congress party and they never valued it. But you know, you cannot dismiss off, say, a Ghulam Nabi Azad, or if an Anand Sharma tomorrow, if Mr. Anand Sharma also chooses to leave. Because Azad has been there in the Congress party right from the times of Indira Gandhi. I remember one of his favorite stories he would often tell us was how he was actually coerced by Indira Gandhi to contest from Amravati, contest from Maharashtra, despite the fact that he came in from the valley. And he did it only because he said that I cannot ever say no to her. And you know, whether he's been a minister in UPA 1 or UPA 2, a troubleshooter, a former chief minister of Jammu and Kashmir, he's often been by the side of Sonia Gandhi, especially at a time when, you know, I remember she was facing a lot of flack for being not in active politics, and when Sitaram Kesri and his group were actually having a complete grip over the Congress party. So from Indira Gandhi to Sonia Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi earlier to Rahul and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Ghulam Nabi Azad has been there. But he's never had a very good working equation with the siblings, and he makes it very clear. Something which many seniors don't talk about explicitly even when they leave, he talks about it in a very scathing manner. Knowing the Congress style, I'm sure they'll end up shooting the messenger, and the clear fine print or the point which is put forward very strongly may never ever be accepted. But it's a fact that many who've quit the party, many who are also within the party often tell us, you know, in murmurs that, you know, the complete inaccessibility of the Gandhis, particularly their siblings. No decisions are taken, organization changes are not taking place, and it's just a handful of leaders who take the final call, and even they are inaccessible.
Right. Pallavi, we remember Himanta Biswa Sarma, when he quit, he made that very scathing and personal remark about Rahul Gandhi's dog and the incident about, you know, the biscuits that you could perhaps elaborate on. After that, this is, you would say, the most stringent personal attack that has come against the Gandhis. Many leaders have quit in the interim, but nothing has been so direct, so personal.
Yes, absolutely. But I think what is going to hurt Sonia Gandhi more is the fact that the attack is more on her son, Rahul Gandhi. You know, we are looking at the Congress party at this point of time, which is on the threshold of an organizational change. It's looking at organizational elections, and there's this huge demand that Rahul Gandhi should be made the president of the party. Of course, there's now going to be this whole narrative which is going to start stirring up, really, Arunima, is that will Rahul Gandhi really be the best man to lead the Congress party? You know, there are generational change in every political parties. There are always people who, younger people take over, the seniors always feel left out. But that's usually never ever been so caustic, so scathing in their attack, because here the whole concept of Rahul Gandhi and his style of politics is being questioned. Congress is often being accused of a party which believes in open-ended sycophancy, dynasty, and a cabal culture. When a J.V. Shedgil says that, many will dismiss him off because he's younger, he's junior. But when a Ghulam Nabi Azad says that on his way out, it is something which will make, and hopefully one does, for the sake of the Congress party, stand up and listen that whether this is really so.
And the language that he has used, where does that leave the other members of G23? You've said Anand Sharma's, exit is being speculated. But what about some of the others? Manish Tiwari, Shashi Tharoor, Mukul Vasnik?
I find a common thread when I look at many of these leaders who were a part of G23, the complete silence from their side. They go on doing their work. Sometimes you do see them at campaigns of the Congress party. For example, Manish Tiwari, who has often taken a line hatke from the Congress party, for example, on the entire Agnipath issue. But I remember he was very much there in that wearing a black band and the protests against price rise. So Manish Tiwari was there, but you see a silence from him. You don't see him actively campaigning. Even during the Punjab elections, which I covered extensively, he would only campaign in and around his constituency. He was never officially a part of the Congress party's campaign committee, so to say. You find the same in Shashi Tharoor. I mean, Rahul Gandhi, after all, is a MP from Kerala, but when Rahul Gandhi travels to Kerala, you see a K.C. Venugopal, you even see a Manikam Thakur, who is from Tamil Nadu, with him. You don't see a Shashi Tharoor with him. So what is common thread among many of the members of G23 is the fact they silence, one. Second, the fact that they don't seem to be involved in the day-to-day affairs of the party. I mean, even the Bharat Jodo Yatra, for that matter, which is the big plan that they are having from the 7th, Arunima, not many of these members have been called in for meetings. And before I come back to you very quickly, Anand Sharma did make that a point. That, I have not been consulted in the last 1 to 2 years on your party strategy, on your election strategy, when I was very much an integral part of UPA 1 and UPA 2.